Dr. Huong, can you, yeah?
Yes. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I try to choose the full screen. It's
Oh,
okay, right?
yeah,
Can
yeah, this is okay. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to join this conference. Um, yes. My name is Huong. I'm working for Vietnam National University of Forestry, and my university is one of the partners of the Harvest project, and we work together with Henry, Dodi, and other colleagues from Indonesia. And so happy to see you all in this conference today. And I would like to share with you one overview of the agroforestry in Vietnam and the role of the woman in agroforestry in Vietnam. And my presentation will have some sections. First of all, and I share with you about the concept of the agroforestry and status of the agroforestry development in Vietnam, and some ideas about agroforestry and potential and opportunities for agroforestry development in Vietnam, and also challenges for agroforestry development in Vietnam, and the role of the woman in Vietnam in agroforestry. And also, I would like to share some proposed solution for sustainable agroforestry development in Vietnam. First of all, and the agroforestry is a very common terms for you, but now I would like to share a definition of the agroforestry, and we apply it in Vietnamese context. And agroforestry is a land use system in which perennial food and plants are deliberately planted on the same land units with the short-term agricultural crops and are integrated with the livestock either simultaneously or sequentially in terms of the times and space. And we apply this term in Vietnamese context. And also from eCraft 2017, and agroforestry is a dynamic and ecologically based approach using natural resources to integrate perennial trees with the agricultural crops and or livestock to optimize yields, diversifies products and protect the environment. The benefit of the agroforestry system for the farmers in Vietnam, including agroforestry contribute to environmental protection and soil improvement. And we have some scientific research in the northwest of the Vietnam conducted by eCraft Vietnam, and it shows that agroforestry contribute to soil improvement and reduce soil erosion in Vietnam. And agroforestry also contribute to economic benefits and food security, especially in rural areas in Vietnam. And agroforestry is also is one solution for climate change mitigation and adaptation in Vietnam. And now we have conducted some agroforestry projects to help the farmer to mitigate climate change in the north of Vietnam and the south of Vietnam. And agroforestry system also contribute to maintain and develop social and cultural values, especially indigenous knowledge in agroforestry. And I would like to share about status of the agroforestry development in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, agroforestry practices have existed for a long time and have been established and developed in the most ecological regions in Vietnam. We have the 8 different ecological regions across the country, from the north to the south. And we can see agroforestry practices in most of ecological regions in Vietnam. And agroforestry in Vietnam is evolving, becoming a crucial component of the sustainable agriculture and climate change adaptation. And also, agroforestry practices in Vietnam have been developed based on the climate, topography, and soil condition of each locality. And nowadays, many new agroforestry systems have been developed, such as climate smart agroforestry model, and that the model helps a farmer can adapt to climate change. And the main agroforestry in Vietnam, we have some models across the country, and I would like to some garden pond livestock. It's very common in Vietnam, and you can see this model, this system is very common in Red River Delta and the northern mountainous province. And in this model, in this system, and it is so in integrating crop cultivation, for example, fruit tree, timber tree, and annual crops with the aquaculture and livestock farmings. And also the component closely interact with each other, and the environment recycling energy and waste. For example, by biogas and using fertilizers. And also this system, this agroforestry system is really environmental friendly and highly adaptable to climate change. Another system is a garden pond livestock forest. You can see this model in the Midland, Highland, and Center Highland regions in Vietnam. And this system is expanding from the garden pond livestock system. This system incorporate forest sectors in this system, and traditional home garden. This system concludes diverse crop, for example, fruit trees, timber tree, and annual crops, and herbal plants, and so on. And these models can optimize the resources such as light, soil, and water in this system. And you can see this system in the lowlands, midland, and mountainous areas. And also the central highland and southeast and Mekong Delta regions. And also mangrove and aquaculture system. This system combine mangrove forestry with fish, shrimp farming, and you can see this system in the south of Vietnam. For example, Cà Mau, Bạc Liêu, Kiên Giang, and Sóc Trăng provinces. The system is the forest combined with Sweden and garden system, with or without limestone. It combines forest trees, upland crops, garden crops, with or without limestone farming. This is common in the northeast, northwest, and central highlands. And another system is intercropping agricultural crops in regenerating forests. It combines timber trees with fruit trees or industrial crops or herbal plants. And it's common in the northeast and northwest and central highlands in Vietnam. And another system is intercropping perennial crops with a planted forest, and it combines timber trees and perennial crops on sloping land in northern east, northwest, and the central regions in Vietnam. We also have intercropping annual crop with a planted forest. It's intercrop annual crop with the timber trees in the first 2 or 3 years. Then the forest trees is still small, and we can plant annual crop under forest canopies. And raising livestock under planting or regenerating forest is another agroforestry system. This system concludes raising livestock under the forest canopies. It's very common in northeast, northwest, and central regions in Vietnam. And we also have intercropping fodder grasses in the forest, and this is common all region across the country. And the last one is intercropping and annual crops in fruit or perennial industrial crops occurs. And this intercrops annual crops, for example, rice, corn, cassava, vegetables, and plant medicinal plants with fruit or industrial trees. And this is very common in all regions across Vietnam. And I would like to show you some photos from forest and farm facility. And my university are working with forest and farm facility funded by FAO, FAO, and we support for some cooperative in Vietnam to maintain and develop agroforestry system in Vietnam. And this is some photos from the project. Raising chicken under acacia forest in Thái Nguyên province, and Lai Châu ginseng under the forest in Lai Châu province, and beekeeping under acacia forest in Phú Thọ province. And another model is intercropping acacia and maize in Sơn La province. And also forest garden model in Nghệ An province in the center of Vietnam, and the forage grass for castle, and plus orange. Orange is model in Nghệ An province. Vietnam has some potential and opportunity for developing agroforests. We have the diverse land and climate of the different ecological regions in Vietnam, and we have diverse model of the agroforests, and agroforests has been integrated into national policies of Vietnam. For example, we integrate agroforests practices in Vietnam Forestry Development Strategy 2021 to 2030, and also emphasize the importance of the agroforests in National Climate Change Adaptation Plan 2021 to 2030, and also National Red Plus Action Program, and sustainable poverty reduction programs, and socio-economic development program for ethnic minority. And we integrate agroforests in those national policies. And also we have the market and technology development for agroforests. And now we promote agroforestry products, and also agroecology products for Vietnamese customers. And we have the market. We have the market for those products inside Vietnam, and also export to other countries. And also agroforests brings economic benefits for local communities. And now the farmer knowledge about importance of the agroforestry in their livelihood. That's why and they maintain and develop agroforests in their lands. And also agroforests promote environmental and social benefits for local communities. And now we have some international cooperation and support projects for agroforests. For example, Harvest project, we are working now, and we try to promote agroforests and also sustainable agriculture for Vietnam and other partners. And however, we are facing some challenges for agroforestry development in Vietnam. And now agroforestry systems in Vietnam are quite small scale and scattered, because the farmer have small scale land for agroforests. This poses challenges for mechanization and product commercialization. And also for Vietnam, and we also have unstable markets and prices for agroforestry products, and also agriculture products, and then it makes unstable markets for the project. And agroforestry requires a high initial investment cost, especially in the first year, and the farmer need invest more money for agroforestry in compare with monoculture. It's quite challenging for farmers, and in agroforestry system, and the farmer can have more income starting from second year or third year. But in the first year, and we need more money for investment. The farmer lack knowledge and skill and financial resources and time for agroforestry in compare with monoculture. Challenging terrain, mainly sloping land affected by climate change, especially in the north of Vietnam and in the mountainous province in Vietnam. We have the big potential of the sloping land, and it makes more difficult for the farmer to develop agroforestry system, and also the farmer also lacks of biodiversity in crops varieties, and also difficulties in planning and selecting suitable agroforestry system due to limited research and evaluation, and also lack of specific local support policies in provincial level, and lack of demonstration models for localities, and difficulties in applying science and technology in agroforestry. And now I would like to share with most of the women in agroforestry in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, women play crucial roles in maintaining and developing agroforestry, especially in the tree establishment and maintain. And the woman is a person to select the varieties and contribute to planting and harvesting. And also women contribute to crop integration and food security. And also women plays very important roles in harvesting, processing, and marketing for agroforestry products. And in the climate change context, and women also contribute to climate change adaptation and innovation for agroforestry. And nowadays in Vietnam, the woman is facing some challenges in promoting agroforestry. The first one is limited access to the resources. A woman is quite vulnerable group to access to land ownership in Vietnam. Also credit, money, green funds, and extension services for agroforestry. And also women face some difficulties in decision making, in training and planting and implementing the project. The women participate in implementing, for example, planting, harvesting, and processing. But the woman very rarely participates in planting and supervising, or also making decision in agroforests. And also women have difficulties due to the labor and health burdens, because the women have the high workload combined with the farm duty. They have a lot of duties in the families, and also they have some risk to expose to chemicals in agroforests system, and this is a labor health burdens for women. And also women have challenges in socio-economics aspect. For example, labor scarcity hinder adoption, and also ethnic minority women face additional cultural bias. Yeah, and that's some challenges the women are facing in agroforests in Vietnam. And I would like to share with you some proposed solution for sustainable agroforestry development in Vietnam. The first one related to policy, and we need to strengthen policy to encourage and support agroforestry development in Vietnam. And also we need to diversify production model suitable for local land and climate conditions. And also applying science and technology, and provide farmer training to promote their awareness about agroforests and how to apply science and technology in agroforests. And also we need to promote value chain linkage and international cooperation for agroforests. We produce the products, but we need the market to sell the product, and we try to promote value chain linkage and from the production, processing, and the market. And we have some project to focus on this. And the last one, and we need to promote the roles of the woman in agroforests. This is something from my side about overview of agroforests in Vietnam and the role of the woman in the agroforests. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.